Hey, I'm Emma. Welcome to my page. Thank you so much for joining me for today's kettlebell workout. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel for future updates on workouts. Today's workout uses 2 kettlebells. You can use a set of matching bells or you can use mismatched ones. If you use mismatched ones, you'll just switch them every single set to make sure you do the work on both sides. This workout is more intermediate to advanced as it does do some kettlebell skill work. So if you're not familiar with any of these skills, check out the links in the description below. I have tutorials for most of the exercises there. This video is an instructional format. So I'm going to show you all of the exercises, the sets and reps I want you to do, and then you can pause the video and do it on your own or watch the whole thing through and then check out the notes below just to make sure you know what to do and hit it on your own. Let's go. Before you get going, I'd suggest popping yourself down on the floor and doing a few sets of glute bridges and dead bugs just to wake up the glutes and the core. But once you do, we can get into the actual warm-up for the workout. So I'm going to tell you what to do, how long to do it, and how many sets to do it, and then you can either pause it and do it on your own, or you can watch the whole thing through and go back and do it at the end. The first thing we're going to do is get 2 fairly heavy bells. Stand with them on either side of you, hinge down, grab onto those bells and stand up. You're basically doing a deadlift. And then from here, lock your arms into the shoulder sockets and you're going to march in place for 45 to 60 seconds. This one you can probably get 60 seconds done. It really starts to challenge your grip strength, work on balance, gets your core going. You can see from the side, I want to keep nice, long, straight posture. I squeeze the glute of the grounded leg that is on the floor and try not to let my hip pop out and slump to the side. So you'll do that for a minute. Shake out your arms, and then this one's going to be the real killer. You're going to do a front rack hold. So you'll bring those kettlebells close together in the middle of your feet, hinge down, and you're going to clean them both up, hopefully at the same time. And from here, you're just standing and holding for 45 to 60 seconds. So we want to make sure we are nice and tall, core is engaged. You don't want your back to be arching or your upper back to be rounding. And you want to make sure that your shoulders are packed into the sockets. And those arms are pretty much up and down. Don't hold them up here. You really want it here. You want to feel it in your core. Keep the belly on and breathe. And then put them down. If you're not able to clean them both up at the same time, or say you have mismatched weights and you need to do maybe like one really heavy and one slightly lighter, you'd switch kettlebells the next round. What you'll do is either clean or assist clean up that one heavier bell first and then kind of come down and clean up the other one. So you're going to repeat the marching and the rack hold 2 times through, and that's your warm-up. Next, we're going to be doing gorilla rows and front squats. You'll complete 3 rounds total, and I'll demonstrate each of the exercises. So you're going to put your kettlebells next to each other and stand just behind them, not too far. And then hinge down with a nice flat back. You're going to press into one bell and pull up into your chest with the other. So it's really a push and a pull. The hand that's down is pressing into the bell and the arm that's pulling, it's obviously pulling the bell. And it lets you actually go a little heavier than you might normally because you're really supported and your back isn't doing much work here. So you're going to do 8 to 10 per side. Then you'll just step right up to your bells and again, clean them both up. Or the way I showed you for the rack hold, you're going to adjust your stance so it's appropriate for you and go into front squats. Inhale as you come down, exhale as you come up. Try to control the bottom of the squat and don't just fall into it and like be relaxed down here. You only want to go down as far as you can maintain tension and then come back up. As always, make sure your knees are going over your feet. You wouldn't want to squat and have them fall in or squat and have them fall out. And if you need to, you can elevate your heels if you find your heels are popping up or you're having a really shallow squat. So you'll do 8 to 12 front squats. Repeat the whole thing 3 times. That's 8 to 10 gorilla rows on each arm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Be 16 to 20 reps total. And then 8 to 12 front squats. So when we do double bell work, we do a lot of cleaning because we've got to hold them both like this, right? When you have one kettlebell, you can hold it in a goblet rack. But when it's two, you got to front rack it, which means you got to clean it. So if you're confused by these cleaning exercises, check out the link below telling you about how to clean a kettlebell. When you do two, it's the same as one. You're just holding two. Next, we are going to be doing a clean to push press and then a glute bridge chest press on the floor. So it's a little bit of upper body. So you'll be doing 3 rounds of this in total, starting with 5 to 8 double push presses. So we're gonna clean those weights up. And here it's really important that you have a relaxed rack. That means I don't wanna be shooting my elbows out in front of me. I want them to go down. And then you go into your push press, which is when you drive your knees forward a little bit to help push the weight up overhead. You bring it down, bending your knees to absorb that weight. And then I go straight into another clean to push press. So drop the bells, clean them back up. Inhale, exhale, pull the weight down and absorb it. Again, clean, push press. And when I do that clean, I'm gonna wanna let the kettlebells start to fall and chase them down to keep them nice and close to my body. Clean them up and push press. This is really challenging, as you can tell. It's even hard for me to talk. 5 to 8 of those. If you have a lighter set of bells, I'd recommend it. And if you really can't do it with the 2 bells you have at the same time, just do one and then the other. Next, we're going to be doing a glute bridge floor press. You put your kettlebells on either side of you and then lay down. This is a little tricky. You've got to get both of your kettlebells here. So if you only have one, you're going to roll over, and you should do this on your less strong side. Get it up here, and then the other one, kind of got to do the same thing. Or what you can do is you can start sitting up with them on your thighs. I know it's not an exact science here. And then you kind of roll back, get your elbows down. Whatever version you want to have, nice straight wrists, elbows about 45 degrees away from the body. Hips come up, and you stay here in a glute bridge. And from here, you're going to do 10 to 12 chest presses. So the arms pull down, elbows come to 45 degrees, and then I press those arms up over my chest, squeezing the chest together. By having the hips up, you're in a bit of a deficit. It's just a slightly more interesting version than having your hips on the floor. 8 to 10, and then put them down. Again, if you can't get both of them up, you do 8 to 10 on one arm and then 8 to 10 on the other. Next, we're going to take it a little lower body. That was upper body, now we're going down with kickstand deadlifts and double bell swings. For those kickstand deadlifts, you're going to pull your bells closer together, and you're going to put your right foot in between the bells and your left foot just behind you up on the ball of the foot. Then you hinge down, grab onto both of your bells, stand up, and now you'll hinge over that front leg, sending your hip way back, or hips way back. And the front leg is really working. The back leg's offering support. And you'll want to do 8 to 10 per leg. Here you can see from the side, I want to make sure that my knees stay tracking in line with my feet. You want to resist letting that back knee, or even the front one, kind of wobble and fall in. If that's happening, you're not engaging your back enough. So keep the back flat, core engaged, keep that back knee nice and steady as I hinge over. What you want to avoid having happen is squatting with the front leg. It's really a hinge. See the difference? Good. Then we will do double swings. Again, if you have some lighter weights, this might be a good time to pull them out. But if not, we will be doing double swings. Set your bells up. You can either, when you go into the swing, end up with a hammer grip where your wrists are like this, your hands are running parallel, or side by side, which is a little more traditional. You'll figure out which version's right for you. You set up for your swing. I'm actually going to take an angle, so this is a little easier to see. You set up for your swing like you do normally, but this time you want to go extra wide. Those bells are much bigger than one. Hinge down. Big inhale, hike the bells back. Exhale. It is just like normal swings, Except you've got to work extra hard to keep those arms straight. Try to resist having this happen. And keep the back flat. And really use those glutes. And then park it. You will do 8 to 12 double swings. So 3 times, 8 to 10 kickstand deadlifts on each leg, 8 to 12 double swings, and then we'll move on to our final core circuit. Our last 2 exercises are a weighted up and out and push-ups on the kettlebells. So for those weighted up and outs, you're going to start them just like you did the chest press. So you'll need to get both of your weights up by whatever means you have. And if you know you have dumbbells and you wanted to take dumbbells for the pressing and the up and out, you're welcome to do that. But what I do is I press the arms up. They stay here the whole time. Press my lower back into the ground, and then I shoot my legs and hips up and then out in front of me. Up and out in front of me. When they go out in front of me, I make sure I keep my lower back on the ground. If my lower back starts to arch, the legs went too far down. Keep that lower back down. Leg goes up and out in front of me. Inhale up, exhale out. And this is a core burner. Then you'll do 10 of those. And if you know the weight doesn't work for you, you can just hold your arms up and do it without weight as well. But having a little weight at least is a nice counterbalance. And then you're going to do push-ups on the kettlebells. So you'll get them, you know, about the same distance you'd have your hands for push-ups. And you're gonna wanna make sure you have sturdy enough bells that you won't roll off of them. You'll come up, maybe feet a little wider than a normal push-up. Keep your body tight, lower down, and come up. It's hard because they're a slightly unstable surface, so you have to work really hard to stabilize. You're going to want to do 5 to 10. And if you're having trouble, like I'm on this matted floor, probably be better to have them on the hard wood because then they wouldn't rock and roll as much. It'd make it a lot easier. And then if you need to, if you can't do a push-up, if you want to do it on your knees, make sure that your hips, knees, and shoulders keep a nice long line as you go up and down. What you want to avoid having happen is kind of keeping that butt poked up and nose diving down. And we will do 10 weighted up and outs, 5 to 10 push-ups for 2 or 3 sets as your finisher, and then stretch it out and call it a day. So obviously you'll have to pause the video and go do them on your own. The whole workout is listed in the description, along with a few videos that might be helpful to make this workout go a little better, including warm-up and cool-down videos. As always, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and leave a comment if you did this workout. Should take about an hour if you do the entire thing. Good luck.